welcome. I apologize about our technical difficulties. Finally, we're on. Now, my name is Regina Livingston. I'm the Executive Director of Unspoken Treasure Society. My pronouns are she, her, queen, diva, sister, mother, glamour, and all that good stuff. And I'm here in the sunny city of Gainesville, Florida. Milan.
Hello, everyone. I'm Mulan Montrese Williams. I'm the Outreach Coordinator for Miracle of Love, as well as the Executive Director of Divas in Dialogue. My pronouns are she and hers, and I'm very happy to be here, especially for this conversation.
Ashanti.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ashanti Coleman. I live here in the Tampa Bay area. I'm the co-founder of Lips Tampa and also the Executive Director. I'm one of the outreach coordinators for SWAP and a couple other things. Thank you for having me.
Aja.
You're on mute.
You're on mute, Aja. You're on mute.
Well, child, you know that. My name is Aja Gamble. She, her, hers. I'm an honorary board member for Divas in Dialogue alongside with Mulan. And she always a side of me. Bitch next door. Anyway, but yeah, I am so happy to be here and hope it goes great tonight. Hope we learn something. Thank you.
Colleen.
Hello, everybody. My name is Colleen G. I'm here in Jacksonville, Florida. I am a peer specialist in the world of drug and alcohol abuse. Glad to be here.
And last but not least, we have Paige.
Good evening, beautiful people all over the world. I am Paige Mahogany, the Executive Director of TAPS, Transgender Awareness Project here in Jacksonville, Florida. My pronouns are her, she. My hashtag is "It's not too much, who will remember."
I love it. Okay, tonight we wanted to take a small break from our drug and its connection to STE topic and talk about a very, very important topic that is causing havoc all over America. COVID-19, the Delta variant. We have a lot of theoretic theories and all types of science, and we have people that think they graduated from Harvard that's able to tell you that you're gonna die tomorrow from taking the vaccine, or we're gonna get antlers tomorrow, or this is the rapture. There's so many stories going around. We just want to talk about the vaccine. We want to talk about it being a safety measure. We want to talk about the fact that there's two sides. We can't be upset with either side, but we have to be respectful of both sides. We have children that are dying, guys. You know, we have old people that are dying. We have young people that are dying. I mean, it's getting ridiculous. So we wanted to have the subject tonight on this vaccine. Who has it? Who doesn't? Why? And your thoughts. The first question, and we're going to start with Asha. Are you vaccinated or not? Why or why not? You got to take your phone off mute.
I forget about that. I just go to town. Anyways, I am not vaccinated. Why not? I am still fearful. I understand that it's very important to have it. But for me, due to my underlying conditions, it's like I'm very fearful. I am terrified. you know, I don't want people to think that I don't believe it's out there and that it could possibly harm you or make you sick, because it can. Just recently, it has hit me very close. My 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 family, as they came down with it. My mother, my brother, my sister, and one of them is, I mean, I never even heard of it. It was pneumonia, COVID pneumonia. I mean, I did hear about it, but I didn't think that they were actually labeling that on people. But it is terrifying because for me, every time I get ready to go get it, it's like something I'll like see on the news. I'll see like, okay, out of like 6,000 people that were vaccinated, 3,000 of them still died. And it's very terrifying because even before I even know what COVID was, Mulan, she would remember this. Mulan, remember that January of 2020, and I came to you. I was like, Mulan, something is going on. I said, I don't know what it is. I don't even. It's nothing I have ever felt before. This was. They didn't even have the. They didn't even have the test out for it or anything. But I was like, something is just not right. I said, I don't feel really sickly, but I feel weird. I feel numb. I can't taste nothing. I can't smell nothing. I can't eat, And it was very scary, but, and I was down for 10 whole days. But I never even actually after that went to get checked to see did I have it or not. It's almost like how the HIV epidemic was when that was out and people just didn't want to talk about it. They didn't want to hear about it. It was just terrifying and it's frustrating for me. And right now at this very moment, I am very, very afraid because it is out there and it is killing people. That variant has spread just crazy. Now it's like every city, especially Florida, this state has just been it's just crazy, and I'm just terrified. So I'm on edge. I don't know what to do. I'm still confused. I'm tired of hearing this and that and this and that. I don't know what to believe. I believe what I believe, and I know it could happen to me. It probably has already happened to me, but I'm in the limbo at the moment. So I'm just gonna listen tonight and just hear some more stories. Thank you. Next.
Milan.
So yeah, I have been vaccinated. I got the 2 shots. And I got them basically because I wanted them. When I first got the shot, at first, before I got there, I really was thinking, once I get the shot, there's no way I can get COVID. That's exactly what I thought. Getting there, after reading everything, it shows that you can still get COVID, but you won't get as sick. So for me, I still got it because for one, I didn't want to get sick and go through some of the things that some of my friends went through as far as being in the hospital and things like that. So I got it as a safety measure, and plus the work that I do. I work in community and have people coming in and out of the office. So it would be best for me to have it just for, because dealing with so many people in the community, you never know what they could be bringing in,
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want to risk catching it, getting sick, and then like putting my household in fear's way.
In danger.
So yeah, I got in danger. Yeah.
Okay. Colleen.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I have not had the vaccine yet, and I emphasize the word yet because and this may make sense to some and not to others, but it just hasn't set well enough within my spirit to get the vaccine. But after talking to my parents, I was talking to my father, and my father said something that was very profound. He said, at the end of the day, when the government is done, if they want you to get this vaccine, you're going to get it. So at some point, you just have to.
You on mute, Colleen. We can't hear you.
You hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So I was just saying the question was, are you vaccinated and why or why not, correct? Okay. So I have not had the vaccine yet. It just doesn't sit right within my spirit yet. But I don't know if you heard this, but I was talking to my father, and my father said, you know, whatever conspiracy theory that you might have going on within your mind, at the end of the day, you just have to trust God. And he brought about a scripture, Proverbs 3, verses 5 and 6, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not into thine own understandings. In all thy ways acknowledge him and he'll direct thy path. I know this isn't church, but this is, you know, my truth. And that's why I'm going to get the vaccine in the near future, because if it is some kind of conspiracy that the government wants everybody to be vaccinated, then ultimately it's going to happen anyway. You know what I mean? There's nothing that one person can do to not get the vaccine unless they hibernate, hide, or what have you. So, you know, at first it was, oh no, that's a chip and, you know, they're going to track me. But now it's not even that serious. It's more of, I don't want to be one of the people that's watching the news 10 years from now and the commercial comes on. If you or if someone you love happen to have the, you know, Moderna vaccine and suffering from, you know, boils or, you know, a toe falls off, you may be entitled to a lawsuit. You know what I mean? So it's more like, I don't know what the future has to hold with whatever this chemical is that they're, you know, imploring us to take. But I'm just going to resort back to what I was taught, you know, to trust in God. So, but I am going to take the vaccine.
Okay. Paige.
Hey, you guys. I got vaccinated once I knew that we all could be vaccinated. My doctor, my primary, told me it was best that I get vaccinated because I am high chronic. I am a diabetic, you know, type 2 diabetic. And so I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't gonna do it at first, but I trusted my primary. She's a Black woman. And I trusted her and I wanted to got the shot. You know, like Colleen said, I didn't want to be, you know, putting myself at risk for amputations and anything that might happen with me being diabetic. I don't want to put myself out, you know. So I just wanted to get the shot and that was it. And I'm glad I got it too.
Okay. Ashanti.
No, I'm not vaccinated. I have everybody knows I'm not vaccinated because I'm very strong about what I feel. I feel like when we were in school, we had to get our last shot before we entered the first grade, I remember. And those things that we were vaccinated from 1 to 7, we didn't catch. We didn't catch. I'm not talking about the virus mutating and turning into something else. I don't even want to hear that. I just know what I know from science that I've lived. And that's the reason why I'm not vaccinated. I'm not going to go let them put nothing in my body that's going to 3 or 4 years down the line, like Colleen said, because that's your chance. You had to sign a waiver. When they first came out with those vaccination shots, you were signing a waiver. That was signing away your life. And I'm not going to do that. The government has already shown us what they do for Black folks with the Tuskegee Airmen. It is not like they're on our side. We are already science case studies, because anybody that has a primary care doctor that's on any type of medication and any type of treatment, you are a case study. Every year you sign papers that go to the pharmaceutical company that charts your progress. And I'm just not going to be a part of that. Day before yesterday, there's a conference that's here on the 27th in Fort Walton Beach. And I had already sent the money for my girl. And we were supposed to be leaving out to go. But one of the people that I know called me up and said, well, girl, if y'all are not vaccinated, y'all are not going to be able to go. I thought she was lying, so I called up there. And they are mandating that we be vaccinated just to attend a conference. I'm like, fuck you. Sorry for my French, but it was true. And so there's not enough data for me. It's not. Tuesday, when I was in Orlando, I was watching the news, laid across the bed in my hotel, and DeSantis, our governor, was saying how the CDC had put out false numbers about Florida, and he called them out on it. So all of this that I see and know, as well as the work that I do, because I'm also in community. I ride the block every other night, if not every night. And the same people that I've been taking care of since the beginning of COVID is still out there. They're still out there. They're still doing the same thing. They're still in the same corners. They're still in the same parts. So for me, no.
Now, for me, everyone knows I'm a healthcare worker. I work at a homeless shelter, and I work in my agency, and I deal with the public all day long. I won't sit here and act as if I did a lot of studying and looking, trying to see what this really is and investigate this and that. I felt that it was my duty to protect myself and arm myself as much as I possibly could, because I don't want to be responsible for being the person that gives it to someone. I don't want to go around my mom or my children or my nephews and nieces, or I couldn't live with that. That I didn't try to do something to cover myself. So that was the reason why I went and got vaccinated. And I knew that they couldn't force me to do it because it's not mandated, but I just know it was important. And I know that I wouldn't be able to comfortably sit at my job, and sit around other people. And some of the stuff that I did look at, it did really show that 95% of the people that are on ventilators are not vaccinated. And I'm not saying that that has to be definitely true, because of course this is coming from the government and the scientists that the government pays. So I'm not saying that it has to be 100% true, but I can say all of the bad cases that I've heard about recently aren't vaccinated. They aren't vaccinated. And so I just have to say, this is just what I see in my area, in my region. The people that are laying up at Shands, they're not vaccinated. Every case that I've heard about, my son's sister just passed. And that was the first question I asked, and so for me, it's just about me feeling somewhat safe, even though I'm not, we're not safe. No one's safe from no one's safe from COVID. You can still get it. However, the people that are getting it, that are vaccinated, are staying at home for 14 days, taking their stuff like, they got the flu, and they're going back to work. And the people that don't have vaccination are having very bad breakdowns in their body from it. There's so many different things going on with their bodies. And these are certain people that don't have underlying situations. So that's what it is for me. But like I said, I respect and I understand everybody, because I didn't walk into there to get vaccinated boldly. I was looking around for anything that looked strange. I was looking to see how they was, when they would give the vaccination to a white person, I was trying to make sure they was using the same needles. I was trying to look and see if they changing the needles out. I was afraid. So I'm not gonna act like I wasn't afraid, but I'm more afraid of being responsible for infecting someone else. I'm more afraid of that. And I didn't feel comfortable going around my mom or anybody for that matter until I was vaccinated. So it just brings me comfort being vaccinated. It brings me comfort. And so far, I haven't had any situations. So our next question is, what is the reason you feel that there is so many people against this vaccination? The first person we'll ask is Ashanti.
The reason why I feel
Why
like
do
so
you
many
feel
people,
there's so many, you know, it's so many people that are against it. It really is. It's a lot of people that are just completely against the vaccination. Why do you think that is, Ashanti?
because the history of the government, the history, what we've already been through as a people. Okay, you can't listen, honey. A couple of months ago, I don't know if I shared this with you, but I was sitting here and I am I pre-hypertension. So I've been on a blood pressure pill for over a year now. And my girlfriend calls me up and she's like, girl, I was reading an article in the newspaper and I wanted to share it with you. It's from a Black doctor. And the Black doctor says the 4 worst blood pressure pills you can have. Well, he had already, the doctor that I was seeing at the time, he had taken me off of one pill and put me on another. I had both pills. I had 2 out of the 4 in my drawer. And the article went on to say how the doctors and the pharmaceutical companies are in cahoots together. They're kickbacks. They're golf buddies. So my doctor, which is at a clinic, is no more than a pharmaceutical rep himself. And it is his job to push these pills on us. If we don't sit back, and I am also a healthcare provider. I'm a CNA. So I've been around a lot of stuff. It's what is it, entry-level healthcare, but I've been around long enough to pick up certain stuff. If we don't check to see what it is that they're giving us, then we're going to be blindsided too. I went back and in thinking about this, my mother, my grandmother's mother, I'm from Mississippi. So mainly, I guess Black folks are taught not to question, especially those people of that time. They're taught not to question a white man. If the white doctor tell you that this is real and this is what you need to take, Miss Evans, Miss White, y'all need to take this. And that's what they did. They took this. And my mother ended up dying from a congestive heart failure. And my grandmother died from, I guess, a heart attack as well. But my point is, how much of that did they actually research? They didn't. They did not research it because they was brought up thinking that whatever this white man said is the truth. But we have to learn for ourselves that this is not for us. It's not. Government has shown us that they're not for us. So on this, I take a stand. And the reason why we're not in such a big rush to go, for a lot of Black folks too, especially here in the Tampa Bay area, you don't see bodies stacked outside in a ditch or anything. You don't see funeral homes full of people ready to be buried. You don't see today my neighbor here, tomorrow they're gone. You don't see a lot of that. So a lot of people are not sure because it's not physical for them. There's no visual, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Colleen?
I would have to agree with Ashanti regarding, because there's just so much jankiness within the government and what they're willing to share with the general public for a reasonable reason to minimize the amount of kickback. But I mean, we as a people, we as America will never fully know the truth of why the government does what they do, and even more so as African Americans or browns. So we have to take that extra step, like Ashanti was saying, in doing our own homework, because it's not going to be done for us. You know what I mean? We don't get the opportunity to play golf with, Michael Sabowski and, and all of those. And that's not me being, racist or anything like that. That's just me speaking my truth. We don't have that luxury. We have to study to show ourselves as approved. And a lot of it is because, because of what we've been through as a people, our first instinct is to say, no, that don't sound right. And But even though we do that, I think we as a people need to step up and do what it takes to figure it out, because we're quick to say, no, that ain't right, I don't trust it. But we don't go the step further as a whole. I mean, we don't go the extra step and do the necessary research. So we end up, we never know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. We have resolved in our mind that it's a bad thing, and we don't, go the extra mile, the general consensus. So I think the main reason is because of who governs us and where it's coming from. Now, if President Obama, came to, Martin Luther King Boulevard and said, listen, you guys, I did my homework, and it looks like, little Chelsea's got it, all of my daughters have it, then we might be more inclined to trust that, and maybe not even then, because he's just a puppet anymore, so go ahead, Ashanti.
Obama would have to take that shot right there. He would have to take that shot right there for us to believe it. He would have. Okay? Seriously.
Right. Yeah.
He did do it live.
Honey, we want to pick out the bottle. Listen, I want to pick out the bottle that he takes. You shoot him with this bottle. You don't pick out his bottle. Okay?
Yeah.
I want to see.
Yeah, so I think that's
Okay.
that's the main reason.
Okay.
Hey, Colleen.
Milan. Let's make our way around the room, guys. Milan.
I really think people are not getting it because a few reasons. Some just like to be hard-headed, you know what I'm saying? And some really don't even have a reason of why they're not getting it. They're just not getting it. For one, it's not easy, and it's not 1, 2, 3 for some people to go get it. They see those lines and they get discouraged. I think that's part of it. And some people just don't like to be told what to do. Even though they know it's the right thing to do, they want to be difficult. That's just my opinion, because for me, it's just get the shot. I know what happened in the past, and some people just don't get it because of stories they hear, and they don't even do research about the stories that they're hearing. You know what I'm saying? They just want to agree and be followers to their friends or whatever. But for me, I really think because a lot of people won't, because it's not easy. They see those lines, they get discouraged, or they make up, I gotta go do this, I gotta go do that. Get the shot. That's just my personal opinion. No offense to anyone who's not getting it. And I also think the reason is they're not seeing it. You know what I'm saying? They might not, their neighbors might not be catching it or anything, but me personally, I saw it. I saw what it can do to a person, and I just don't want to go down that road.
Okay. Paige.
I think it's lack of knowledge, just like with me, although my primary told me that the shot that I'm getting is gonna prevent me from getting COVID, I still did my research. I just wasn't gonna go by what she was telling me, like Colleen and Ashanti said, we've been prone to be science pets, honey. So I did my own research, and I was like, okay, then we're gonna get it done. But it's a lack of knowledge, and like Ms. Mulan said, people get discouraged. They go, the lines be long, be hot outside, they ain't got no water. They make up every excuse not to get it. But I think everybody should get the COVID shot, whether it's Moderna, Johnson, or Pfizer, whatever, get it, so you can live a long life. Even if you think it's a hoax, please take care of yourself, honey.
Aja.
I understand everyone sounds a little bit right in a sense, but I think for most people, it's the transparency of it. They'll change it one week, the next week is something else. It gets confusing. Sometimes you don't know what to believe. Also, it is because of the history of our country, way back from, slavery. we don't like to be controlled anymore. And
Mhm.
to a lot of Black people, it feels like control, like they're trying to control a certain population or something, and we're not going to stand for it. And that's not for me, but that's what I feel most people would be thinking. But I believe in the vaccine, and like Mulan just touched me just a little. It's like those little things. It's like, she's already vaccinated. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from her, but when she throws it at me, it's almost like she's trying to force me to do it, and it sort of feels funny. It makes me kind of don't want to do it again. Still don't want to do
Peer
it.
pressure. Peer
Yeah.
pressure.
It's almost like peer pressure. And I understand why she wants me to have it, because she wants me to live on. Girl, how many times I'm gonna tell you, homes ain't going no damn well. I'm not going nowhere.
This is my thing. I know if you catch COVID, backstory, me and her are neighbors. I know if she gets COVID, I'm going to be the one to be looking after her. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going to happen.
True.
I'm going to have to do extra stops and drop things off on her porch, and then I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to go crazy like, is this girl all right over there? You know what I'm saying? Because like she said, in January, she thought she had it. But that was before we even knew anything about COVID.
Yep.
That's before we knew anything about it. Thank God we wasn't right up in each other's face, and thank God she don't smoke weed, because I would have.
We were, girl. We were. Yes, we were.
We were together, but I'm saying we don't like smoke after each other. We don't. You don't.
I think we performed fellatio the same time.
I understand.
So listen.
No, wait. Let's respect each other. Hold on, it's still Audrey's turn. And she left the floor to Milan for a second, so let's just let that go. Go ahead.
But yeah, I mean, all in all, I really believe in the vaccine, but for me, I'm just not ready. I'm sorry. Hopefully I will get there soon and one day, but right now I am in limbo. I'm terrified, y'all. Next.
Okay. And I'm gonna ask the third question, and then we can have dialogue, which means we can talk. But even when we have dialogue, please, y'all, let's respect one another. One person talking at a time, because it begins to be a free for all, and we can't understand one another. What's your opinion of our future during and after the pandemic? What is your opinion on our future during and after the pandemic? We'll start with you, Milan.
Well, during, I really see us shutting down again. With the numbers increasing so much and people not getting vaccinated, I feel that we're going to have another shutdown. And as far as after COVID, baby, I can't answer that, because I don't know if we're going to have is after COVID going to be in my lifetime, because honey, I thought we was almost done, and then boom, there you go, here's the Delta variant, so after this one is controlled, or they're saying it's safe again, is another one going to come? Like, what's really going on? You know what I'm saying? So I can't say what's the future after, because I don't know if are we going to have a future without COVID. But I know if we do, I'm going to be on my P's and Q's, and I think a lot of people are. I think a lot of people are going to be more on washing their hands. I think people are going to be more about, give me some space. You ain't got to give me 6 feet, but at least give me 2 feet. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what's going to happen, because, people have lost family members. People have lost loved ones from this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's real. COVID has really messed up a lot of people's minds with this, because a person's here one day, the next day they're gone. You know what I'm saying? Your friends here healthy and good and jumping around, the next thing they're on a ventilator. So I don't know what's for our future, but during COVID, I really feel like we're knocking on the door for another shutdown. That's just my opinion.
Colleen?
Hey, so once again, I agree with the panelists. as far, I do believe that we're in for another shutdown. I believe that our governor here, dealing with the state of Florida, is just a pompous, at this point, sending our kids back to school and, just not taking the necessary precaution, erring on the side of caution for the sake of people having free speech and free right. Well, that's just, as you can see, I'm a little upset with our governor, but I'm gonna shift gears, but I do foresee another shutdown, and it's going to be a shutdown that's going about the hard way, because it's going to be so out of control that this shutdown is going to be probably even worse than the one we had before. In regards to what post-pandemic, I think it's here to stay. I think it's here to stay, and that the more herd immunity that comes about, the better we'll be able to deal with it as a civilization. So I don't know if we all know this, but the flu that we deal with today, the H1N1, is actually a variant of the Spanish flu that took out all of those people many years ago. So it's just a variant, you know what I mean? And I believe that there's going to be many other variants that comes about from this COVID. COVID is a variant of SARS, so I think that it's here to stay. We're just going to learn how to deal with it effectively and more willingly. That's what I think the future holds for us.
Okay, Ashanti.
The H1N1 flu, they do have a vaccination for that. I took that when the last nursing home that I was working for. What I foresee for the future, as far as DeSantis, we're not going to shut down. Hell, DeSantis is fighting with the president right now about the school kids and the teachers. He tried to withhold money from the schools because of the children going back to school. Everything is a forced thing. I don't think that we're going to shut down in the capacity that we were, because they don't want to give no more stimulus checks. And I think it's all about the money. I really do think it's all about the money. So as far as what I see in the future, I see asexual experiences. I can't see nothing else at this point. No kissing, no holding hands, just totally stay out my face type experiences.
Okay. Paige.
I think we
Paige,
have
why, we can't see number half of you. Can you come up? We can't see number half of you.
Can you see me now?
Okay.
Is it on? Is it on? I see us shutting down soon. And it's gonna be worse than it was before the last lockdown we had. As far as the future, I agree with it. It's gonna be. I don't want to get out of my face. I don't want to deal with you. It's gonna be like that. Yeah. It's gonna be, keep your fluids over there. I'm keep my fluids over here, honey. And that's how we rocking for the future.
Mm-hmm. Okay, for me, I feel that we're gonna be wearing masks probably for the rest of our days, because, and I'm not gonna say we're gonna need to wear masks or it's going to be mandated, but we're not gonna feel completely comfortable. I don't think we're not gonna have that comfortability back. You're not gonna really want people in your face unless you really know them, you know how they carry themselves, so on and so forth. It's going to be tense. I feel like the future is going to be tense. I don't feel like there's going to be a shutdown unless somebody assassinate DeSantis.
Okay.
Each place each county can do their own thing though. And Gainesville is not studying DeSantis. You have to have on a mask in Gainesville or you're not gonna enter these establishments. So he can sue all you want to. You got to wear masks around here. When you go to the hospital, you're gonna have on a mask or you won't enter. When you go in grocery store, well, everywhere has not mandated it on lockdown yet, like they did, but it's coming. Most establishments in Gainesville, you have to have on your mask. And they adhere to it too. And we'll wrestle you down to the ground about it. So that's one thing I'm glad about. But I just feel I don't feel like we're gonna be the same again. I don't feel like it's gonna be the same because it's not the same now. And just like Milan was saying, we are losing loved ones. We're losing family. We're losing extended family. We're losing people that was here yesterday. You just talked to them yesterday, and 3 days later they gone. It's that messes with your mental bad. So I don't think it's going to be a normal. It's going to be the new normal. I don't think there's going to be a thing as getting back to normal. I don't think that's going to be a word anymore. It's going to be the new normal. And what we have to do now to get through without, until the next one come along. But Fawcett, the head doctor, he's already talking about a new one. And I don't know if anybody was listening, but he was saying it was different variants coming behind COVID-19. He was saying it already. So Delta shouldn't have been a surprise. It shouldn't have been a surprise. And the hospitals never stopped using masks. People say, oh, they're trying to do this and that with the mask. The hospitals never stopped using it. So that tells you something. Even when it stopped spiking, all hospitals still made you wear masks. You have to wear masks. Don't come here without no mask, or they have the mask right there at the door for you. So I don't think it's gonna get worse before it gets better. I do know that. Especially in the state of Florida. Aja?
To me, it's like a car battery. Every time that season change, it's going to be something different. It's going to keep coming. It's going to come in different variants, different strands, whatever you want to call it. And I do possibly see a shutdown, or maybe not, especially here in Florida, because they're so greedy and they don't like shutting things down. It's like control. And even if they do shut it down, I'm essential now. A grocery store child. But anyway, but I will still have to be out there, risk my life. My other job, I come in contact with millions of people, just that many people, all through the years. And I mean, but for the future going forward, I don't think it will ever be the same. I just don't see it being the same. It's, for me, I see it as, it's just a way to shorten lives quicker. We can almost predict when or if you're gonna die, like how many years you got now, baby. You can be here for 3 years old and you're dead. We just can almost feel like, okay, if I live healthy, I do the right thing, I may live to get 70, 80, 90. If I run the streets wild, I may live to do, I live to be 30. Baby, you don't know, because it's hitting all ages, and it's terrifying. Now, every day I have to wake up, bitch, am I gonna be dead today? It's frustrating. It's messing with this right here. And this thing right here, you don't want to play with that anyway. And you can mess, girl, I'm having problems, girl. I need some kind of therapy or something, because I'm going crazy over here.
Well, I want to open the floor now. Go ahead, Sean.
So, we forgot when the COVID-19 virus came out, where it came from and what its actual purpose was. We've talked about this what it has done, but we forgot what it was targeted for. It is here for population control. And the reason why I say that, my dear friend, a couple of years, well, it's been like almost 20 years ago. I worked on a French chef, and over where he's from, France, they literally rent out graves One day I was in the office with him and he was like, you know, I need to go ahead and pay my mother's grave. And I was like, what do you mean pay her grave? He was like, well, you have to pay on their graves ever so often, or they'll dig the body up and put the bones, put them underneath in the catacombs. And I was like, why? He was like, because there's not enough land mass over there. So you look at the fact that they created HIV. HIV didn't come from no damn monkeys. They created HIV, and we have HIV-1 and HIV-2. HIV, I think 2 is Africa. It might be 1. I got it confused, but however the fact, you have a population of people that populate real fast. They went over there to cut them back. So they introduced this disease to them, the same way they introduced this disease to us over here. They have always put things out here in our communities that cut us back. Just like Paige said, we could be here today or gone tomorrow, but it is the government, and this is the way the government plays with population control. And I still believe that COVID-19 and anything that comes after COVID-19 is population control. These are things that are created. This is not natural.
Mm. Sure.
So I wanted to comment about the do you remember when COVID first hit and they were saying, oh no, you can only have an N95 mask, and that's the only mask you can wear that's going to be effective, and if you don't have one of those, shame on you. Now we're putting socks on our face and they're saying it's okay. So, you know, it's like you don't know what the future holds because they don't know what the future holds. You know, whether they created it or not, it's still a study. You know what I mean? Whether they created it or not, it's still more to be learned about it. You know, so it's like, I just wanted to bring that up. Like, you know, that's kind of why I'm a little hesitant about taking this vaccine. Now, mind you, they also started working on that vaccine well before COVID actually hit. You know, a lot of people are like, oh no, they came up with this vaccine too soon. And but the vaccine back when SARS came about. So that got put on pause because that became maintained, that one variant of SARS. And they just picked that study back up. So that's okay, that's what me doing my homework, I came to a comfortable level with that aspect of it. But there's still so many other avenues that are just more will be revealed as time goes along that I don't, you know, yeah. So I just wanted to just, you know, remind everybody that Ashanti wanted to remember when. I figured out, you know, remember when.
I'm just gonna say this. I work with doctors. I work with doctors who've been doctors for 30 years and 40 years, and it's not. I'm still not combating anybody's theory or what anybody has to say, because at the end of the day, it's all theory. You know, it's all theories. When we go online, we're reading theories. We're reading, you know, history. Some of the stuff is history, some of the stuff is scientific, and some of the stuff is theory. When those doctors sit and get their vaccination, I don't know, it just makes me trust it a little bit. You know, because I know that when they got their vaccine, because you had to, you know, that high up, they had to. You know, we didn't have to, but the doctors and the nurses, they had to. It was mandated. And so it's like I'm stuck, you know, but I just know that I'm gonna do the safest thing for me. And that's why I feel you, Aja. I feel you because you're doing the safest thing for you. You waiting until you feel like you're comfortable on your inside. And I was comfortable on my inside when I went and took it. You know, when I went and took the vaccination, I was comfortable. I wasn't gonna be comfortable till I took it. You know what I'm saying? So it's a different effect on other people. But I guess, you know, being that I work so closely with those doctors and I see the patients going through stuff and different, I'm not around COVID patients hopefully, but I'm around patients who have underlying situations. And all I can do is just try to protect me at the best way and form I can. And that was for me getting vaccinated. And my whole thing is you don't know. You just don't know. And when you don't know, you just do the best you can. And I could with just trying to protect myself at all costs.
So let me ask this question to the ones on here that are not vaccinated. If you were to come in contact with COVID, would that make you want to change your mind, or would you still stay on your stance of I'm over COVID and I'm still not getting the vaccine?
So I'll answer that first. I actually had COVID. I think I had COVID twice, to be honest with you. Once before I even, it was brought about, because I thought I had the flu and the doctor said you don't have the flu, but it was something, and then just last year, maybe my symptoms weren't significant enough for me to be like, oh, y'all got a vaccine? Where do I sign up? You know what I mean? Because I didn't have the shortness of breath. I didn't lose my taste and my smell. The only effect that I had was I just felt my chest was just heavy, not shortness of breath, just heavy, with the way that this variant is going on now, I honestly don't think that I'm going to wait to see, because now it's like I know people that have literally died. You know what I mean? I know, like now I know people that have died, that, like Regina said, here 1 minute, gone the next, like you were just talking to them. And it's a lot of people. So that forced me to pray about it a lot more. And, I'm probably going to do it. But the question is am I going to wait until, I don't even want to say if when I was going to finish that, because I believe we speak things into existence. But, yeah, maybe the pain isn't great enough for people to realize that the vaccine is what they want. Is that where you were hitting at? Is that the point you were trying to make, Laura? Like, what is it going to take?
Right.
For me,
As for me as well, I think I've already had it, but that still have not convinced me to take it just yet. And right now, I think more of so it's a time where time is short. And I just feel like we need to hear the words, I love you more. A lot of us didn't grow up saying those words, but I think it's very important now to, let a person know you love them. Think about, just stop all the foolishness. I'm over it. I'm over it.
With you when you're right. I am with you when you're right. Go ahead, Ashanti.
as for me, I'm looking at the data. So I need for the data to speak for itself. And the data ain't speaking yet, so I'm not doing that. Another thing, Regina, you said that you took the shot because you did not want to give anything to your family members. You wanted to make sure you would protect that. But you can still catch COVID taking a shot.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can still catch COVID with the vaccination shot, that means that you can still give it off. Right?
Mm-hmm. But that's not gonna make me feel that I shouldn't be protected.
No.
I'm gonna tell you another thing. I've been in environments with people that have came up with COVID since I've had the shot. I went and got tested and I was negative. Twice. So that's the only statistic I need. Because I was in close proximity with somebody with it, full force, talking dead serious in my face. And when I went and got tested, negative. I did a follow-up to make sure, negative. And for me, I walk in my faith in God more than I walk in anything. I don't believe in man. I don't believe in, and I'm just gonna be straight out with it. I don't believe in man. I don't believe in theories. I don't believe in looking nothing up on no internet. I believe in getting down on my knees and asking Jesus to watch over me. And I'm not saying that people didn't get it that prayed. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying nobody didn't die that prayed. But this is what I am saying. If I die tomorrow, I prayed about it, and I'm where I'm supposed to be. We're leaving. We're going to leave. We're going to die now one day. It ain't got to be from COVID, but we're going to die. But I walk in God's grace. I'm sorry. So that's why I'm strong. You know, that's why I don't like to get too far into it, because then I'll be trying to combat, you know, somebody that's not getting it. I don't want to combat nobody that's not getting it, because I respect everybody's decision. I'm speaking for me, though. When I leave my house, I pray to the Most High and ask him to cover me. And I go about my business, because ain't no need to sitting up in no house looking crazy.
That's right.
What you just said, I'm about to go crazy. Didn't you just say that?
No, I was cool. For the since Mulan had that question, for the vaccinated ones, what are you going to do about your booster?
Oh, now, I'm not taking no booster shot.
That's a new question.
No
Ow.
shade.
Every time they say one is available, I'm going to get it, because I just rather get sorry. That's just me. I don't want to be on a ventilator, and if I know that I still can catch COVID, but the thought of me catching COVID and not as getting sick as some are, I'm going to get the booster. I'm gonna say, if I have to buy it.
Let me recant real quick. I say this. as long as they're not pushing the agenda about this dirt booster shot. I really don't want no more shots. But
okay, so Natalia, what if they say?
I never said, huh?
So what if they say, okay, this next variant, okay, you got your vaccine and that was for COVID-19 and the Delta variant, but you need this booster because they done added something for the Jesus strand that they come out with next. They're gonna say you need this booster especially for this one. So you're not gonna go get that?
I'm probably gonna get it, child.
Oh, okay.
So here's the thing. Even more so is with this booster shot, it lowers immunity.
You breaking up, Kareem.
Oh, can you hear me?
You breaking up real bad.
Okay, how about now?
We can hear you a little bit better.
Okay, I was gonna say, what about if they say that this without this booster shot, you know, your immune system needs it now. You know, I feel like I lost y'all. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Oh, now that's real. Oh, if they're gonna talk about your immune system needed, that's gonna make me think something. I'm be like, well, baby, what's wrong with my immune system?
I was already thinking
Then I'm gonna call Ashanti Holiday Crash. I'm like, girl, you was right. Yeah, but I have truly enjoyed each and every one of you tonight. This, y'all, of course, y'all know this is a subject we can go on and on and on and on about. But tonight was, you know, it was nice to be able to talk about it, to get everybody's input, to get everybody's ideas. Y'all know it's our time, so we gotta go. Y'all know we can't be up here all night. I got to get out and do some outreach tonight, but I appreciate you all taking your time and not finding it robbery to be here tonight. And we'll come back next weekend. If y'all want to make a round two, we can come back. Get some special guests.
Where are you going, Asha?
You said next weekend?
Audrey, you going?
Going where?
To get the
next month. So
When
this
you
is what,
hey, you know what? You sent me a study today where you might be able to start doing testing yourself.
I'm gonna be honest. I sent that survey out because I knew I was gonna get money, but I didn't even read it. I didn't
Good
even
on $40. But
how much you get?
but
Oh, she ain't send that to me.
they're trying to get girls to do testing. They're trying to get your type of girls, not my type of girl, but your type of girl. They're trying to get you to start doing that type of testing.
Who is your
What
type
type
of
of testing?
Who is talking about Milan type of girls?
Yeah, transsexuals.
Oh, I understand now what you're saying. Because you know, I'm a sister.
I love y'all. I love y'all.
I love y'all
I'm gonna
too.
talk to y'all later.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Jenna, call me later.
Thank you for joining us tonight.
Love you, ladies.
Bye.
Bye, y'all. Love y'all.